So we are live. Hi, everyone. Let us know if you can hear us. I'm going to check YouTube really quickly to make sure that we are indeed live. Hey, I think people are here and they can hear us. I'm hoping. Because sometimes I'm like, I do not trust my laptop. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, everything is working. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Crusty Club live show. This was our February pick, but we're having the live show, obviously not in February. We love lives. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood.
Listen, because I brought it with me on spring break when we were going to do it in March, and then I left it there, and I forgot. I was like, oh.
You're like, well.
No, because my train was canceled last minute, so I just literally had to take the train the next day, so it was a mess.
I remember the wildness, but this is what we're going to talk about today. So if you've read it or if you've not, welcome either way. We'll let you know when we're talking about spoilery things. But yeah, I'm joined today by three wonderful co-hosts who are going to go ahead and introduce themselves in a moment. But before we do that, if you've read the book and you finished it, go ahead and leave a heart in the comments so we can know that you read and finished. And while you're doing that, I'm going to let the three co-hosts introduce themselves. And afterwards, Katie is going to give us a quick little summary about the book and why you should or shouldn't read it.
Who's going first?
Anybody.
I'll go. Hi, my name is Tianna. I have a YouTube channel and Instagram where I discuss books and amplify Black stories. And on Twitter, I'm pretty much off the cuff, yelling at politicians and whatnot. I read this book in February during Valentine's Day, and I was in the hospital when I read it. So yeah, are we doing ratings too, or just introducing ourselves?
We will do ratings after Katie does her summary.
No, you're good.
Oh, I guess I can go next. I'm Olivia. I just have an Instagram, Live for Reading, where I do read a lot of romance, but mostly literary fiction, BIPOC authors primarily. And yeah, I actually finished this book last night, so I read it right until the end. My thoughts are very fresh, and I feel like I have a lot of them for once, so that's good.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie's Book Nook. I have YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms. I read a lot of fantasy and romance, and I'm here to talk about The Love Hypothesis today. And I guess I could just launch into my little summary. So this book follows Olive Smith. She's a third-year PhD student, and she doesn't really have time for love or to date, but her best friend really wants to date this guy that Olive went on 1 or 2 dates with, and so to convince her, she basically says that she is dating someone else, so she doesn't really care. However, she is in lab late one night, as PhD students do, and she sees her best friend, and she told her best friend she was going to be on a date, but she was in lab. And so when she sees her best friend coming down the hallway, she just kisses the first man that she sees, which happens to be assistant professor Adam Carlson, who's known for basically being a big asshole and this stone cold professor. And so it's a big surprise to her when he agrees to be in a fake relationship with her, and things progress from there.
That was such an amazing summary, honestly. And the fact that you finished this book in August and had that summary ready, and I finished it in January, which was also a while ago, but I was head empty.
I don't know. I feel like I was literally just filming a TBR, so I have my flow going for summarizing books. I've also talked about it a lot.
Yeah, because I don't want to spoil your rating. But hello, everyone. Hi, I'm seeing tons of comments. Welcome. Oh, someone's annotating. I feel like that's a good sign. That means you liked it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Okay, we have a DNF. Oops.
Oh gosh, not a nun.
I hasn't read it, but is
Where did
no.
they DNF? I'm curious. Where were they DNF?
Oh yeah, I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Where in the book did you DNF? What was the last straw? We love a coincidence. This is actually really
Love
fun,
it.
but we love to see it. Okay, so you know me, but in case you don't, hi, I'm Chanel. I read literally everything. Well, not
Yes.
everything. Well, I don't like nonfiction that's like school-y. Like if I'm reading a nonfiction, I want it to be like a memoir. So I wouldn't say like I read everything. So that. But yeah, welcome to my channel where we have live shows and nothing else for now. But anyways, now that we've had that summary and everyone's introduced themselves, all their links are going to be in the description below. I'm pretty sure Katie's username on everything she mentioned is the same, right?
Yeah.
So like I have her YouTube link and I'll go back in and add some more as well. But yes, make sure you check them all out because they've made some time to hang out with us today. But we're going to go right into our initial thoughts and ratings. And everyone in the comments as well, go ahead and leave your ratings and your initial thoughts. We're in the like non-spoilery section right now. So try and keep spoilery thoughts away for the co-hosts. Okay.
Same circuit again?
Yeah.
Is that what
Same. Mm-hmm.
Initial thoughts. I delayed reading this book for so long. Well, for one, Chanel was like looking through my Goodreads account. She was like, "Hey, have you read this book?" And I was like, "Why are you in my Goodreads? What are you doing?"
I always do that. That's how I like find
it was scary. I was like, I've read some weird things, don't judge me. So I obviously saw the hype on TikTok and I was like, this is scary because this was my first TikTok book, except for like a Katie Robert book. So at that point in time, Mina and I were carpooling and she was like, oh yeah, I enjoyed it. So like I was like, okay, I knew that Mina liked it. We have similar tastes. So, like we'll see how I'll do this book. So then I'm in the ER and I'm like, well, I have my book in my bag. Let's go for it. And I was like, okay, it was a nice escape. And then it wasn't. So that's where my initial thoughts at the beginning. But yeah. Oh, and I gave it 2.75. So I enjoyed it. Just some things that were like, please end it now.
Yeah, I feel like I just finished it last night, like I said, so my thoughts are still very like fresh. I will say like every time I was reading it and I was in it, I was like enjoying myself. I was like, I could keep reading. I'm not gonna like put it down. But at the same time, when it was already down, I wasn't necessarily like, I need it back. And there were definitely things that I just didn't I don't know I typically when I like review books on Instagram, I don't really put a star rating on them. Sometimes I do for myself on like Storygraph, but I don't know if I had to, I feel like it'd be like maybe a 3.5 about, yeah. But I don't want to go into spoilers, so that's where I'm at right now.
So I read the book in August, kind of before it had hype, so I didn't like really have the hype to get in the way, but that doesn't really stop me either. I gave it 5 stars because it should be a surprise to no one because I tend to rate books highly like all the time. But I also think I'm a little biased because I do work in like biotech, so to me like maybe more of the like sciencey things made sense. And like were very similar to my life. But I just also thought it was like very cheesy, and the fact that it was like started as fan fiction and then became like published, like you can definitely tell. But I just kind of took it for what it was and enjoyed it a lot. So 5 stars.
Yeah. So similar to Katie, because I was in grad school when I read the book, or like right up finishing, and when I started it, which was literally I'm pretty sure in August or something around that time. So I was like, oh, I'm so ready. We're talking science, we're talking PhD, we're talking like college, we're talking, because I'm pretty sure the school, it's Stanford, right?
Yeah.
So we're in the Bay, like I know exactly everything that they're talking about here. This is my moment. And then I was like, maybe this is not my moment. Because I really loved, my favorite aspect of the book was the student aspect.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed the room. Like at first I was like, I don't, and then I was like, no. So I really loved like the following a grad student, following people in STEM, like following. I don't want to be like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I just really love following adult students and seeing like the real struggle of like being a grad student, being a college student, and then also trying to like juggle romance and juggle your grades and your like research. Oh, I love that because I was in the I was having trauma. I was like, I'm literally in this exact position. I'm throwing up, but I love it. So I ended up giving the book 3 stars because I really loved that aspect, but then I didn't like the romance for the most part, especially some of the descriptions, which we'll get into later on.
Someone mentioned Jesslyn Jacob mentioned that they DNF'd because the writing was so plain. And I feel like it works here because if you are a student, you can understand like the student life aspect, and also like you don't need complex or difficult writing to like get that across, at least for me, at least, because I am a student. I think we've all here have been a student at one point, like we're in the trenches during the final exams or whatnot. And this book actually like helped me like figure out what I want to major or what I want to pursue my postgraduate degree in. So like I feel like this book, it didn't need to be too complex. It was an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, like simplistic read for anyone that can pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Katie.
I think that kind of also like stems from the fact that it started off as a fan fiction that just they changed the names and published it. So like some fan fiction doesn't have like the most polished writing. It's for people to kind of like practice and you know, sometimes it's like just fluff and crack that you just like read super quick.
Yeah. I didn't feel like the writing was bad. I felt like it was just like simple, and I kind of liked that the writing was simple because I feel like one thing you learn as a researcher is, I mean, and I know this is like fanfic first, but my brain was in academia, honey. I was like, one of the things you learn as in research writing is to be as simple as possible. Like you want to write as if you're writing for like somebody who has absolutely no clue what you're talking about. And I feel like because this book followed like a STEM major, like somebody working on their PhD, I really liked that the writing was really, really simple because I feel like if it was super complex, it would have been too much.
Yeah. The author is also what does it say? I think she's like a neuroscience like professor. She's published work in like the field. So to me, it would make sense coming from that kind of like training that would translate over to fiction.
Yeah. This is funny. Well, we're getting into spoilers, people. If you haven't read the book, this might be a good time, but I'm going to go through all the comments and see what people have said. But this is really funny because this was one of my biggest issues.
There was also like Twitter drama about this.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like about someone saying that like all romance books like describe the guy is big and tall and the girl is like small. So I was like, but
I can see that for sure because one of the reasons I didn't enjoy what's that one book everyone really loves, The Hating Game?
Because that's
I couldn't stand it. That's what it was about. Oh, I couldn't stand that book. Was like I wish I could give it a 0 star. It really there were that was like I couldn't do it. So
the movie was good. I'm not gonna cap. Like
it was fun.
It was giving 2010s early rom-com, and that's why I ate that shit up.
I still haven't watched it because I'm like, I need to reread the book before I watch the movie, and I haven't gotten around to it.
Wait for it goes on sale because we should not have to pay for that. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, true.
I saw the I almost said commercial, the trailer for the movie, and it was looking real ridiculous. So I'm glad you said it.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's really
rom-com.
Yeah.
I love this comment. I think sometimes books can be unrealistic and fun.
Yeah.
There was one scene that was like very unrealistic in here that I'll talk about when we get into spoilers.
Is it Is this what I think it is?
Yeah, like the sitting.
Yeah,
Down. Like, okay, like this was happening.
You're seeing loved it. I think most people, besides the DNFers.
I'm curious to know if the DNFers were influenced by TikTok to read it and why they were influenced by TikTok.
Oh, that's a good question. If you DNF the book, why did you read it in the first place?
But I'm just curious because I know TikTok was like to this day. I was at the bookstore the other day. It's still on that freaking table of TikTok romance books. So I'm just curious to know like how.
Yeah.
And didn't this book come out around the time, or like wasn't the peak hype during around this book was around that New York Times article, like TikTok is saving publishing houses. Like, wasn't that during this time?
Maybe. I think also because it was a book of the month book. Those books tend to get like a lot of hype.
Oh yeah, that's the copy I have.
I feel like all the rom-coms that like get picked for book of the month like get a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And also the anniversary of the Star Wars franchise too.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like a Star Wars. It's Star Wars fanfic. So
and Star Wars fans, if y'all come in these comments, one, I will find you and we will scrap. But two, no, Star Wars fans are messy. Like you do not want to be attached to a Star Wars fan. Okay?
I have never seen Star Wars, and every day I'm grateful for that.
Yes,
no
there was
every day I'm grateful.
There was one TikTok that was like fan casting the Love Hypothesis. We just pulled up all the actors from Star Wars. I was looping that. I was dying laughing.
I know that Adam Driver is in it, right? And I did everything in my power to not imagine Adam in this book as him. I just couldn't. So,
oh goodness.
So 2 stars. I did not want to read it. Wait, I did not want to read it.
But due to its hype.
Oh, okay. So that was a hype read. I loved it, but I also get like, I refuse to read it with the knowledge. This is funny. Olive annoyed you. Yeah, this is quite a polarizing. I don't think we've had a romance read that was so polarizing. So this is funny.
Not to say I didn't like the romance, just like one character pissed me off and ruined it for me. But I enjoyed the romance aspect.
Which character?
The bestie. So something about her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm late, but I didn't have this book. The writing was so plain, and the girl has no personality.
It's a rom-com.
That's so funny.
She's textbook personality. That's the point of it.
3 stars. Like Adam is one-dimensional. Oh, interesting.
Let's see. That's TikTok.
Not yucking anyone's yum. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it seems a lot of people don't like this smut in this book.
No, because TikTok was selling it as smut, and that's the issue them having with TikTok. Is like they try to promote these like smutty books as like, or like the whole point of TikTok romance is smut, but then sometimes they just mistake like corn for like smut sometimes. And I'm like, maybe let's reassess what you actually want to read, and we can go find you those books. This, however, is a rom-com, so we're gonna have real life aspects, which can stretch to unrealistic, portrayals. And then 2, we're gonna have the comedy that might be cheesy. Guess what? I liked it. It's not for you, and that's fine. And I feel like people who like ruin this book for other people didn't realize that like there are different levels of smut. And that's what brought this conversation, like going on your smut journey. Like from what I started out with to where I am now, it's a whole journey. And I think it like made other people like realize that like, hey, there's erotica, there's like lovey-dovey smut, and there's just like smut. So I feel like it helped give these categories to this like genre of romance.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, oh, it wasn't smutty enough for me. But the point of like these like traditionally published rom-coms are not necessarily always to be like the dirtiest books. Like they're supposed to be light with some spice, which I feel like hopefully now that people are using like the pepper scale, that helps. But like I think people can sell things like differently, and then it like kind of gives a false impression. Also, I think it really just depends on the person, and like you're saying, the smut journey. If you have never read a spicy book before, like I think the first spicy book I ever read was The Hating Game, and I was reading that, I was like, they put those words on paper. Like I was like, Lord, and like the things that I read now, like
that was me when I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I was like, this is so scandalous. And then I remember like a few months ago, one of my friends was like, there's literally no smut in that, and I was like, I was scandalized. Okay, I was shaking. Okay. funny because I feel the same. I literally feel the same.
Okay, here's the thing. Adam Driver, like the meme, or Adam Driver, like the actor? Because the meme Adam Driver, iconic. Love him. Queen. Now, Adam Driver, the person, I don't know who that man is. If I saw him on the street, I could not tell you who that man is. No. No.
I DNF'd it because everyone on BookTube and BookTube was talking about it. It sounded promising. Yeah, I have to be really, so I don't really follow Book Talk. Every time I see the Book Talk something, I click not interested purely because I don't want, like I've heard too many bad stories of and things that are just not. I think BookTube does a better job at preparing you for what you're actually going to be reading overall, like as an overall, and maybe just because BookTube is not really a very like instant, like we have this short amount of time. So I think that's why that happens on TikTok, because at max you have 3 minutes. So
there's not time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not time.
There's not enough time to properly.
There's no nuance.
Yeah. So I feel like that could be the reason why, because it's Book Talk has already conditioned people to be like, you need to get that content. Because when I see even a 1 minute TikTok, I'm like, okay, I'm scrolling because that's too long.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a blend of different things, but I do think overall BookTube just does a better job at actually telling you what you're reading is. Because I just heard way too many people be like, I saw somebody say An Ember in the Ashes was spicy.
Who?
That shook me up. I was like, Ember in the Ashes, the YA, YA fantasy is spicy. Because I don't remember any of that happening when I read it.
We haven't made genocide sexy, but go off, sis.
It was a moment. I was like, oh my goodness.
And also, like, wasn't this book like okay? So in my opinion of like Book Talk, I'm thinking like the new adult age category, like late 17, no, that's an 18 age range, like going on to 20. Like I feel like it's that like cusp of people reading this book now. Like, yeah, there are people who are older, obviously, but I feel like the market that is pushing books like The Love Hypothesis out is that age range. Am I wrong in that assumption?
I mean, no, sorry, go on.
Well, I was just saying, it also seems like a lot of the people, I don't know, this is like a big generalization, but I feel like with the way they're marketing like books that are recommended on TikTok, it's a lot of people that are like coming back to reading and are still in that like early spot of like, I'm getting back and finding what I like. Whereas I feel like I've been watching BookTube since like high school and I'm about to graduate college. Like, I feel like, I don't know.
Are you a junior or senior?
I'm a senior. I'm about to graduate.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got one more year and I'm done.
You got this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's why there is a reemergence of a lot of older books getting popular again.
Yeah. Like Colleen Hoover, Sarah Dessen. I saw people picking up Sarah Dessen books. John Green, my nemesis.
I mean, like A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Like, I posted a TikTok about how much I hated the cover redesign, and I got like attacked in the comments.
I'm gonna DM you because I have theories about that shit.
Not them attacking you. I hate the redesign.
I was like, this is the worst. Like, the original covers are so iconic, and people are like, I hate people on covers, and I'm like,
I think if you look at the timing, I genuinely think it was a sub rights issue. I think Charlie Bowater wanted her, rightfully so, like more coin for what she was worth, and when it came time to like renegotiate, because the fifth Silver Flame was coming out, and cover design, you go to her, she's like, okay, well, I want, you're making money, like I want that to match that. I feel like that might have been an issue, but I don't know.
I never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Allegedly.
Not the downgrade.
I really wish that
I didn't even like the series. And I was shook.
I was a child, and it helped me through a lot of things, Chanel.
I had to stop after Akamath. I just couldn't.
The color scheme, like that, like Pepto-Bismol pink one, like
it's awful,
atrocious.
My stomach starts gurgling every time I see it. I agree with this. Okay, so let's catch up the comments. I love.
Listen, we're not yucking your yum. Isn't that what someone said? Yucking yum.
Yeah.
Someone said kitty.
Oh, interesting. Now Book Talk can't be trusted.
I think that like what I liked about the smut wasn't the sex scene itself, but it was more of the like emotional connection part of it. Are we getting into spoilers now?
Yeah. Oh no, we
Okay.
did.
So
Go
something-
crazy.
This book that I guess like that I liked that the sex scene talked about was that Olive is demisexual.
Mhm. Yeah.
I also like if you read the bonus scene, Adam is also demisexual.
I did not.
You didn't know that, which I kind of caught like some vibes about that, but because he like had said he hadn't been with anyone in a long time, so I liked that it was like, I guess the sex scene was them like connecting.
Yeah, that was definitely an aspect I liked of it. There were definitely parts of it though. Again, with like the
fitting the whole boob.
that I was like, okay. Also, just like there was some stuff that was just real weird to me, like being like, I can do it. Women give birth. I was like, oh. I was like, I don't know about that one. Or like, just I get like the talking about, because I mean, if it's supposed to be Adam Driver, like big and like always talking about, like I guess that's like what I think.
Yeah.
If you're thinking of Adam Driver specifically, but then to be like contrasted with like she's so tiny, like her, like she's concave. It used the word concave, and I was like,
yeah,
she's gonna break.
I guess like I was like, okay, this is a little much, but also I think if you're writing to like literally base it on Ray, who like grew up starving,
I have that.
Like, I get
none of that
why, but I was like, we could
Yeah.
change that in the modern day. Like she doesn't have to be like starving. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting because whenever I read romance books and like the woman in the book is always described as like tiny and like, oh my god, seashell girl, put it in your pocket. Like, it's really hard for me to like not giggle because I'm like, nobody's writing anybody above 5'8". What's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm so curious for like as to authors writing characters that are like close to the same height or something along, because I want to see what authors can do when all our descriptions are not, he's so giant, oh my goodness, that big shadow looming over me, oh wait, let me walk really slowly because my tiny legs can't keep up with my giant love interest, gigantic Slenderman legs. Like, you know what I mean?
Also, as someone that is only 5 feet tall, like it's not that dramatic in real life.
I was gonna say 5 foot and like your partner is like really tall, but I feel like in your head, are you like seashell girl?
Yes.
No. Like
leave tall girl out of this.
It's just like
leave out of this. It's a sequel I didn't want, okay?
Yeah, I think it's like just so corny and over the top, but I feel like that's sometimes the charm of the rom-coms, but again, sometimes like with the body descriptions, it like goes too far because then it's like, okay, like is this realistic? But
yeah,
I've just been kind of trying to read rom-coms with more diversity, like characters, body type, all that.
I really like this comment because so when this was recommended to me, it was recommended to me as the main character is demisexual, and I was super excited. I was like, oh yes, we're gonna have this thought, we're gonna have the thought process in this book, we're gonna feel like, because I feel like I remember someone telling me that there was some, I don't want to say like drama, but there were discussions going on about how there aren't ace characters in romance books and people quote unquote don't want to read them. So when I heard about this, because I'm like, I want to read them, like I need, you know what I mean? And so when I was recommended this book, I was so excited. And then when I read it, I almost like forgot that she was demisexual. Like I literally was like, and obviously everyone's experience is different, but to me, it felt like I was just reading, it could have been anybody. Like there was no distinction if this is somebody who is on the spectrum. And again, it's a spectrum, so like everyone's going to be different. There's probably going to be people who are like, this is exactly what I needed. This is exactly the descriptions that I feel. But when I was reading it, I literally was like, this could have been a book that nobody told me that the main character was Demi, and I would have never known and never would have thought about it. And I could not help but compare it, even though these are not romance books, I can help but compare it to like Alice Oseman's characters. like I just couldn't help but think about it because in Radio Silence there's a character that's demisexual and they're let me not spoil that the way that was done. It's like you couldn't forget
Okay.
once you found out, and the whole time you were reading it, you're like what's going on? But I felt like this. I genuinely was like, this could have been literally anything.
Was it written in third or first?
Huh?
Was it written in third or first?
I can't remember. Oh wait, I have the book right here.
Because if it's written in third, then it goes to say that, like, okay, you're going to do more by showing than telling, but if it's written in first, then you're going to be doing by telling more so than showing.
Okay, so it's written in third person.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I'm just going to use the spectrum analogy there. It is a spectrum.
I just, when I was reading it, that was one of the biggest disappointments for me because I was really, really excited to have this type of representation in a romance book. Because I feel like a lot of people think that when it's like, you don't want to be like in a relationship, you don't want to have a romance, you don't want to like experience the things that other people are experiencing, like romantic wise. Like you're not like daydreaming about romance and the cute professor, like whatever. So I was so pumped. And then I read it and I was like, okay, is this what we're,
Yeah.
I just want to shut this thought process down. We're not going to question if an author's demi or not. And if
this is why I was saying that I feel like, and this is also another reason why I tend to not, like if I read something and I feel like that representation wasn't what I wanted, I tend to not be like, oh, this is bad representation, because I don't think that that is fair. And also questioning an author's sexuality in any way, I also don't like, because people sometimes write things to figure things out and it's nobody's business, you know what I mean? But, and again, like this, somebody will relate to something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
I want to talk about how funny the lap sitting scene was.
Hey, listen, because like I've been there before, but like I was a child, so I'm just like,
remind me what that lap sitting scene was as somebody.
Okay, so it was some sort of like, I guess, guest lecture or something where like the whole department had to go and there were no seats, so she sat on his lap. And the amount of like those big lectures that I've gone to where there are no seats,
I was about
nobody is sitting on anybody's lap. They're sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Or like the windowsill.
No, without a long legs sitting in those seats. And also, I just have to quickly say, if anything has proven to me that Katie is an Ivy League girly, it's the fact that she can remember what she read in August so clearly. So I just want to say, if you ever questioned this queen's brain, never. Never. She continues to excel.
Love you.
No, okay. Thank you, IDK, because IDK has points, and that's why this book, like I rated me.
Yeah.
Her best friend.
Yes.
Single turn is pushing her onto this character.
Yeah.
Like I understand that they're best friends, but to some extent, if you know your best friend is demisexual for one, you don't push your friend to these illicit, like cute romantic sexual acts in front of public people. Like that's just, to me, like that's not your bestie. She's too involved into your sexuality. And I don't, well, let's question it further.
Yeah. Also, like that was like pushing, like the lead up to them like having sex and then like being in love with each other was literally just all of these little random things that like put them into. And I'm like, how did you start to like each other? Because it was all that. And like also it just kind of bothered me that like her whole personality was like pushing Olive into this relationship and that she was promoting BIPOC women in STEM. I was like,
I
have to scream at this. Where is it? Oh my goodness. I just have to. Like,
no,
PhDs are terrifying. Literally. Like, you ever walk past a PhD student, a gaggle of them? I walked so quickly.
Not even like, it's not even on the professor's lap, it's in front of the whole student body. Like people who are your peers and gonna read your articles and peer review you. Like, ain't no way in heck, bro.
Like that
was not looking for your first reader and somebody's sitting on his lap and you have a question. You're like, when am I getting my edits?
That was the one part where I was just like, this would, like, not even students sitting on it, like students don't sit on each other's laps, like
Like
No.
nothing was said. Everybody was just like,
No.
They were just
day.
they were saying, "Oh, she's just sitting on his like."
No questions about professionalism. You know,
Yeah.
I was literally reading that. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Mhm.
I was like, where is that little training that they make you do every semester?
Not even that.
You didn't forget that.
As a student, we have to do those every semester, and we can't register for classes until we do that sexual assault.
Yeah,
thing.
when he said he was gonna like file for a Title IX complaint or
Yeah.
something like that, and I was like, well, why wouldn't someone look at you during the lecture and file a Title IX?
Literally.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know. That was also, I think it might be, I'm like specifically like work. I like do like essay like prevention work on my campus and stuff like that. So like, I don't know, the constant, like the fourth time they're making a joke about Title IX, I was like, fully, because like, I don't know, that carries a lot of weight, like on
No,
like
yeah.
and college campuses and stuff. I was just like, it's like not funny and like just kind of makes me uncomfortable that they're joking about like, and just another thing to add to my really long Title IX case. Like,
And speaking of
like
Title
not.
IX, while we're here, if you need to use Title IX, go to a professor first, have documented emails. That way, when you go to Title IX, they can't say, oh, we're going to just expel you. I'm just putting that out there because it's happened way too often that I'm sick of it.
Oh, this is a good question.
Yeah.
Did she know
Yeah.
that Olive was Demi?
It's I don't know if Olive even
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
never
think
stated.
I don't think that was a discussion that like happened.
Yeah, because Olive just seemed to have this monologue of, oh, like I'm not really attracted to people like a lot. Or
Yeah.
she was like, oh, I'm just busy. But it didn't seem like she, ever like said demisexual or anything.
Yeah, I don't remember the words being on page. I remember people being like, oh, this is what this character, and that might also be another reason why I was like I just really need authors to put these things on page so I don't have to question, like, you know what I mean? Because I don't remember those words being used, which might be another reason why I was like, oh my goodness.
It was subtle, yeah.
Honestly, I would have dipped. Like, imagine they're sitting in the middle of the entire aisle. And you're
I would see like the PhD like group me, like someone sends a picture of
Yeah.
and be like, do you see this PhD student see those professors laugh? Like that would
right.
Does anyone remember Yik Yak?
Yes. Yes. I
That would be
remember
all
that.
over Yik
I'm a
Yak.
youngin.
Oh, not I'm a
Yeah,
youngin.
I'm the youngest here. I accept my
age ourselves. Let's leave. That was a funny moment. That was a funny moment.
So for Stranger Reads, Title IX is basically it's to protect against, or it's basically protection for universities, students, and I think also in the workforce. I can't remember. That was a product of the 14th Amendment that you cannot be discriminated against for your sexuality or for I'm forgetting what else. And it just ensures that, it just ensures that you have protection against the university in case you need to use that for sexual assault.
Yeah, so it says Title IX is a federal civil rights law in the United States that was passed as part of the Education Amendments in 1972, and it prohibits sex-based discrimination in any school or other educational program that receives funding from the federal government.
So if you're a private school, you can't claim this. You have to like find some wiggle room for that.
Yeah.
Well, my school is private and we still have a Title IX coordinator.
Ooh.
So I don't know. They just
if you do FAFSA, but you have public funding, that's where that line.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just think it was hard. Oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Olivia.
Oh, I was just gonna say I just think it's like a very loaded thing to throw in there
because
for so many people it's really complicated and really frustrating, the whole process of it. Like seeing people not be able to get what they want out of that system and process, like I don't know, it just didn't feel like something that could be made into a joke easily.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially if you're somebody who, because I'm gonna draw like a connection now that you've like brought up this thing about the Title IX. Reading this, because it was also set in Stanford in the Bay Area, it reminded me of Know My Name by Chanel Miller, because that was also something that happened in, I don't remember if it happened near Stanford, but it was, right? So like the fact that, and again, this is like not the author's fault or anything. I feel like that, but I just couldn't help but make like the entire time I was reading, I was like, especially because I also like my school was in the Bay Area as well. And like we had a lot of students like from Stanford around us and like all of that, like Stanford, Berkeley, all of that. Like you see those students a lot. And knowing like Bay culture, oh no, honey.
Is it like frat boy culture, or is that what like you're referencing to?
Like, well, okay, so the Bay Area is very, and I know Liv is also Californian, but I don't know, you're like in SoCal, but are you like from the north?
Yeah, I'm from Sacramento. So like,
okay, so you understand kind of what I'm about to say. The Bay is very much like techie, like people like boundaries are very difficult to set because of the way people are very like go 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 go, and it's really hard to establish, like at least from my perspective, especially because my school also kind of had the vibe of like we don't care about you, like here's your information, if you need a tough cookie, like literally our student like therapy, you got like 4 in the semester, or is it like 8? You got like 8 in the semester, and that's it. Once you've used it, good luck. If you're suffering, have fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like really awful if something happened to you on campus, because and also like campus policing, like usually when something happens, they'll be like, talk to the campus police. And Liv will probably have more to say about this since she like does work in that space. But they're like, talk to the campus police. And then when you do, they're like, anyways, ciao. Like, you know what I mean?
And then no, here's the thing. The thing that I hate about campus police institutions, they want you to call them, because if you don't call them and you call the police, now the university has a fire up its ass, and that's why they want you calling the actual city police. I think that's the scary part about that aspect.
Yeah, I think reading this too, because I've never had a single teacher, professor, nothing that I was like, oh, they're attractive. Like, so reading this, I was like, this occurs.
No, and in STEM,
right.
I am also like just wondering, like in the book, like they were cleared to date by the school, but like would that actually be like would any grad student be able to date like any professor in a university? I feel like no.
That is because I know that you can't date a professor who is your professor. But this is different because it's a PhD cohort.
Yes.
A PhD cohort is very different from when you're in undergrad and you're just taking a professor's class like for 1 semester, maybe 2 if you like sign up for another class. But like your PhD cohort, maybe you'll have like 3 professors. You see those 3 professors everywhere in every project. You know what I mean? At least that's how it was for like my grad program.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that he said that like I'm not like on any advisory board or committee, and it seemed like maybe he was in a slightly different department than her. He was like bioinformatics or something, but like I still think it would be weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it would be weird because I know that my program, we had like the general psych, and then you were like in recs for like research, or you were like in counseling or whatever. So like you didn't really see those professors, even though you're all like in the same umbrella. So maybe it might be that type of thing. But I'm still like, now that you brought it up, because it's just like, oop.
Because it would be different if they were in like different, like history department, STEM department. Like it would be different in that aspect. But since it was like there might be cross paths between her research and like him being on a PhD candidate committee, I was like, ooh, not the drama.
They researched the same disease.
Yeah.
Like there's like be like too many people researching just one disease at one school.
Yeah. I feel like you would have to, like, especially when you're a student researching something that that a professor is also researching or has experience in, you usually get tagged onto their projects because they have more experience. But I feel like maybe this was the author's way of kind of putting them in close proximity without doing the whole like, teacher, like he's my teacher, Pretty Little Liars, Aria, and blah 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 type of vibe. You know what I mean?
It was definitely stretched for the sake of.
Yeah, I feel like it was just for the sake of that, to be like they're stuck together, but not.
But it also makes their like meet cute at like the way beginning like even more sweeter, not to some degree, because he's just like, well, you just have to answer that one question, like, you know, see it through, ride or die, bestie. Can we talk about his best friend from Boston? Because that shit irks me.
Yes.
Okay, his awful friend.
Hate that guy, Tom.
His name's Tom. I forgot.
Yeah.
My professor's name is Tom.
My dad's name is Tom.
His friend was awful, and I suspected something was going on from the
Me
start.
too.
With the way he was like, treating Olive in the beginning when they were like talking to one another, like questioning her about like why she's even like researching pancreatic cancer, and then he like just wanted her. He was just gonna accept her in his lab in Boston because he wanted to sleep with her.
Yeah, it was very much.
Like I literally want to throw up thinking about that.
Yeah. It was gross. What do you guys feel like you wish the book had done more of or done less of? Well, we kind of went over some stuff like the Title 9 jokes.
I wish that like they actually talked about him actually knowing who she was from the get-go. They never had that discussion. Like he alludes, like his best friend that they meet up for dinner, like the one that we like. He tells her, but like there's never like that full concrete like I knew you from this contact thing, and that's how we each other. Like I wish there was just like that like cute like full circle moment.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was because like again because of its fan fiction roots, we're supposed to kind of like have some attitude already that we like bring to the characters, but I felt like I was like, you're getting coffee together for like 30 minutes once a week, and we're supposed to be like they're a couple that's in love. They're dating. Oh my gosh, they get coffee once a week at the same time.
That plays into like me thinking like Adam might be autistic, like just like a little bit of autism. Because me personally, I'm gonna see you every day. No, I'll text you like maybe once a week, and like maybe we'll hang out once a month. So I'm just like that to me was like, okay, for the sake of this book, fine. But in real life, I'm like, I hardly see people to begin with, so I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. I'm definitely the jumping into someone's pocket type, so I can't relate.
What do you mean jumping into? Oh.
I'm like, but I think it's, I just think that I wish there was more of like just seeing their relationship, like the coffee date thing. Like I wish there were dates in the book. Like I know that there's students, and like again, the academic part overshadowed a lot, which is the point kind of, and also why I was glad that everything else was so simple. But double POV.
It was
I wish because like Adam was just like simping for Olive since the beginning, and like he just went along with the fake dating because he liked her for so long and never did anything about it.
Yeah,
I kind of wish that there was like more of that incorporated into the plot, so we kind of like understood the buildup.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know what's funny? This is the second fanfic type book that I've done for this book club, and Olivia's was there as well.
Yeah.
For spoiler alert. That was interesting. That's also fanfic, but it's like Game of Thrones, and I feel like oh my goodness,
Was it actually
like a geologist?
Was it actually a fanfic first, or like was it like just about?
It's just about fan culture.
Fanfic. It wasn't a fanfic first, but that one also follows a woman working in like a STEM
science background.
field.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I wonder if that's I wonder if that's gonna be like a trend of like STEMmy women.
I hope so.
Because I love it. I need more.
I think so too, especially with the rise of dark academia being like a trend right now. Because I think we're going to see like a height of dark academia books this coming fall, I believe. So like we'll see like how that affects like I'm gonna rope in light academia into the STEM aspect of like that realm.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I'll explain that in a minute. But I think the light academia suits that STEM aspect more because when you go into like literature, history, like things of that, it's also associated with like darkness. STEM is just like light, medicine, things of that nature. So I'm interested to see like how this trend progress later on.
I want to see like a dark STEM academia where they're using their science skills for evil.
Ooh.
Go watch The Magicians. Go watch The Magicians.
Okay, I can do that.
There is a trigger for sex.
Could watch Breaking Bad where they're just making drugs.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Really quickly. Someone pointed out in the comments that when Adam has the confrontation with Tom, and he like pushes him up against the wall, and he's like, "I will kill you." That was a lot. I was like it came out of nowhere. He really like, I was like, "I'm gonna, if you dare touch the woman I love."
A job interview.
Yeah, in the middle of a job.
It's just craziness.
I'm trying to remember, like, was that like, were they doing the interview together, like for their collaborative work?
So he was interviewing at like Harvard to potentially like basically follow Olive.
Right. That was cute. I thought that was
Yeah.
Didn't sound. What?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
I'm Googling.
While Tianna is doing that, do you guys have any romance recs for the audience as we're getting close to the end of the live show? While they are looking.
Okay, so if you like are tired of like the way that like I sound like Sarah J. Maas, the men or men figure is described, and you want a book with like a plus size man, as well as I guess like the woman in this book would probably be like mid size, like she wasn't like skinny. Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon was really good.
Ooh, I have that on my TBR.
Yeah. And it's like about these two people that work at a weather station, and their bosses are divorced, but still like working at the same weather station and making their lives miserable. So they try to get them back together. They're really cute, and like the guy was plus size, the girl was like mid-sized. They worked on TV. Very fun.
I think it's adult, Vanessa. It's adult, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an adult rom-com.
Cool.
All I see is a bunch of Tumblr fanfic. So
yeah.
What happened?
I'm guessing probably the Title IX conversation, but I don't remember what this is referring to. But
is it that Adam getting angry on like to defend her? I think.
Okay.
I feel like that's a very common thing in romance too, where it's like obviously in reality you would not want someone to go apeshit.
Yeah.
That fantasy of someone that would literally like threaten death.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of people like dark romance.
Yeah. So, that would make sense. I have some romance recs for everyone. So Gray Hair Don't Care by Karen Booth.
I keep meaning to add that one.
It's so I like it purely for the fact that like I don't see a lot of books with people who are like in their 50s falling in love, and it's like really slow friends to lovers type of thing where they knew each other in college and then they're like meeting again as like 50 something year olds. Love from A to Z follows.
I love that book.
It's so cute. I think both one of them is definitely Muslim, but I think the other one is as well.
Happy Ramadan, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay.
And it also has chronic illness representation. It's really, really good. It's really cute. I really love the way the two characters navigated like their romance and the religion. Really loved that aspect. Well Met by Jen DeLuca. Love that. Small town vibes, grumpy sunshine type of vibes. Anything by Helen Huang, like literally anything.
I have all of her books and I need to read them, but I haven't.
Katie, you really do, because they're so.
I own all three of them.
I love them.
Pick it up because they're so like.
Wait, I can't wait for her next book. I'm excited for her next book.
Who?
I'm excited for Helen Huang's next book when she decides to release the next one.
I'm literally waiting on the edge of my seat.
So. Yeah. Are any of you or have any of you read didn't Ali Hazelwood publish like some novellas or something recently?
I am waiting for them to come out in ebook because they're like audio first. I mean,
gotcha.
They're definitely just more fanfic that was repurposed.
Oh, are they?
But
I wasn't sure.
Still like eat it up. Anyways, her next one is it's coming out in August. It's called Love on the Brain, and it's very similar. It's probably like going to be pretty similar to this one, but I'm still going to eat it up like it's candy. So
cool. For YA, I'll Be the One by Lila Lee.
That one's cute.
But that
So
one was
good. It
She
follows
has-
plus size main characters trying to get into K-pop. Both characters are bi. So like so good.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know the cover model does like K-pop covers on TikTok.
Is that
And she's gonna
why
be
she
on
looks so
Lizzo's show.
familiar?
Yeah, and she's gonna be on Lizzo's new show, like Lizzo's new dance show.
Oh, that's
I'll
sick.
send you her
That's
TikTok later. But
Okay.
Lila Lee also has a new one coming out, called "I'll Be the One," I think, and it's like the K-drama one.
Oh, wait,
and-
no. I'll Be the One is the one I was talking
Oh no,
about.
sorry.
but
Flip
the script.
Yes, I
Mhm.
want to read that one.
That one looks really cute.
Someone put in the comments, Delilah Green doesn't care, and I want to read that so bad.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I want to read this one
Oh.
too.
I want to read that.
You wanted to tell me you were gonna recommend?
I finished it. No, I was gonna recommend this one, but I finished it.
What do you mean you were gonna recommend it?
No, so like for one, I gave it a 3 stars. It was like, it's so good, it's so good.
Okay.
I just want to like get a Sharpie and like edit it like the fuck out of it.
Well, I'm
Okay.
excited to read it to see.
Yeah.
Since you kind of recommended a book with like older characters, I just picked up a fantasy romance that like has main characters in their 30s, and one of them is a mother, called Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Weisskopf. I haven't read it yet, so I can't like say if it's good or not, but I feel like that the 30s age range in fantasy romance is like very underexplored.
Oh, okay. I will definitely be looking into that. Since we talked about like being like books with ace characters and stuff, I would recommend Let's Talk About Love by Claire Can. The writing is really, really, really simple. So if you're looking for like, I don't want to. Well, the writing is very simple, but there's like a lot of discussions about being ace and falling in love. So if that's something that you're looking for, anyone in the comments, definitely check that out.
I also agree with the Zinni recommendation. It's also like good. Like I have a video idea I'm working on of like sex ed taught through romance books, and that book is on my list for like how like communication and just like exploring sexuality in general. So I recommend that book as well.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I saw this on someone's channel. Isn't this the same author? It's like a pen name of the author who wrote the alien ones, the Ice Planet.
Ruby
Dixon?
I think it's the same author.
What?
Hold
Yes,
on.
I saw it on, I think, Mara's channel.
Are you serious?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could have just made that up, but I'm pretty sure.
Not right under our noses.
Hold on.
Or there's something coming out by this author, maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wait, the first thing that I see on Goodreads about Go Hex Yourself is that Ali Hazelwood said it was good.
Oh.
Well, authors supporting their own.
They're like the Raylo Alliance.
This one the next one I have, I can definitely see some people like absolutely hating and some people absolutely loving because there's drama. There is drama.
What is it?
One Day in December by Josie Silver, and it follows this girl who sees this guy while she's on a bus, and she sees him like outside the bus, I'm pretty sure, and she like immediately falls in love with him. And then she and her best friend are trying to figure out, like, find this guy because it was like she saw him and she never saw him again type of thing. And then her best friend starts dating some guy that is amazing and wonderful. And I'm sure you can kind of put together who that some guy is. And we follow the three of them in this like friendship over years. Things happen. People make bad decisions. The main character, like the guy, goes deaf at some point, like kind of, because I think he had like an accident or something happened that affected his hearing. So there's a lot of discussions on that. I really loved this book. I gave it 5 stars because I kind of like books where people are making bad decisions. So yeah.
As an Aquarius would.
I just ate it up.
Okay,
maybe I'm wrong about that author. Sorry, I can't find it. Huh?
Oh,
I can't find it either. But
I can't find it. I thought I saw it, but
for the girlies that want smut and dark romance, Her Total Take by Harley LaRue, so good. Please check the trigger warnings, but so good, so dark. Lots of BDSM. I enjoy myself. My favorite cute rom-com series is by Chloe Leslie, a neurodivergent author. It has autism rep, disability rep. Like that's the first disability book where my disability was in it. So I was like, oh wow, this is good. It's called The Bregman Brothers. There's 7 books total. Only
I've heard of those.
Right. I've been telling you to read it, Chanel. And I will tell you every day till you read that series. It is so good. Please go pick it up.
I will certainly be considering it because it's on my TBR. So
I've seen a lot of good things about that one.
It's so good.
All right. Any last comments and statements from co-hosts or the audience, or if you guys want to plug anything you're doing, like content, anything you're excited for that you might be posting or talking about in the future? Or final thoughts about the book?
I'll read the second one. Like I'll read whatever she writes next. We'll see.
This is kind of off, but we were talking about like plus size representation in romance. I am going to be making for a project for one of my classes. I'm going to try to make like a little zine based on Sonia Renee Taylor's The Body Is Not an Apology. So I'm going to be asking for like some submissions. I can put like anonymous quotes from people into the zine about responses to some of the questions that she asked in the book about bodies. And I want to center like BIPOC, disabled, like queer bodies and stuff in this zine. So if you look at on my Instagram, I'm going to be asking for responses to those things. Next bit. Yeah.
I don't really have anything to plug. Just if you watch my channel, just keep watching it. I always like rate things 5 stars. I feel like I'm kind of known for like not being very harsh on my ratings. So if you like that, come join me.
I have nothing to plug at the moment. But I will say thank you to everyone for joining us on this really wonderful discussion. I had no idea how this live show was going to go. I feel like the discussions were so good, especially since so many of us read it so long ago. Really happy about the discussions. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, co-hosts. Make sure you guys check out their links in the description and all of that. I will see you all in the next live show. Good.